Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. WWE Raw General Manager Adam Pearce sent a heartfelt message to Rhea Ripley ahead of tonight's episode of SmackDown. The Eradicator competed for the Women's World Championship this past Saturday at WWE Bad Blood. Rhea Ripley celebrated her 28th birthday today, and Adam Pearce sent her a heartfelt message on Instagram. The Raw GM shared a classic photo of the two in 2014 and noted that he was proud of the star Ripley has become. He also humorously told her to not puke on anyone's shoes, and you can check out Pearce's message on his Instagram story by clicking here. Proud of all you've become. Don't puke on anyone's shoes, wrote Pearce. Rhea Ripley squared off against Liv Morgan in a Women's World Championship match at Bad Blood, and Dominic Mysterio was locked inside a shark cage. Raquel Rodriguez made her shocking return and attacked Ripley to end the match via disqualification. Rhea Ripley comments on betraying popular WWE star Liv Morgan, and Rhea Ripley used to be partners on WWE television. However, they have now become bitter enemies, and Ripley recently shared why she decided to turn her back on the 30-year-old in the past. In an exclusive interview with Sportskeeda Wrestling, the former Judgment Day member noted that she used to trust her. However, she claimed that she sensed Morgan was going to betray her, so she decided to beat her to the punch. So I trusted her, until I started feeling like something bad was going to happen. I have been backstabbed by multiple partners prior to this, and I mean she has too. So we were both broken in the same ways, and it was only about time that one of us were turning on the other. With us arguing, and us not getting along, and us losing our matches, and her draining that killer side of me, and making me into this mushy little tag partner that she wanted, I felt like I was getting sculpted for a betrayal. So I thought I had to do it before she did, said Ripley. For 18 onwards, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley also had a heartwarming exchange on social media today. Only time will tell what the future holds for Ripley on Raw following her loss at WWE Bad Blood. The world of WWE is known for its larger-than-life characters, intense rivalries, and electrifying moments. But behind the brutal physicality and bombastic performances, there are stories of real connection and respect that transcend the scripted conflicts. One such moment occurred when Adam Pearce, WWE's authoritative figure and backstage decision-maker, sent a heartfelt message to Rhea Ripley, expressing his admiration and respect for the reigning Women's World Champion. The aftermath of Rhea's rule-breaking. The scene had been tense. Rhea Ripley, ever the defiant and fierce champion, had recently found herself embroiled in a major controversy on Monday Night Raw. Known for bending the rules and making her own path, Ripley had finally crossed a line that even WWE's tolerance for rule-breaking couldn't ignore. She had interfered in a match between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, costing Rollins the match and potentially his chance to headline a major pay-per-view. The interference wasn't sanctioned, and it left WWE officials, especially Adam Pearce, in a tough spot. For weeks, fans and critics alike had been calling for action against Ripley. But Pearce had remained silent, choosing not to publicly reprimand the women's champion. The rumors swirled: was Ripley untouchable? Did she have too much backstage influence? As the tension mounted, WWE programming teased that something had to give. And then, finally, it did. Pearce's public address on an unassuming Monday night, during a special episode of Raw, Adam Pearce stood center ring, microphone in hand, the crowd buzzing in anticipation. His expression was serious, his brow furrowed as he prepared to address the situation. "I've been hearing all the noise," Pearce began, his voice steady but loaded with emotion. "I know everyone's been asking the same question: what's going to happen to Rhea Ripley? Believe me, I've been thinking about that too." The audience erupted, divided between cheers for Rhea's fans and boos from those who wanted to see her pay the price. Pearce allowed the noise to die down before continuing. "Rhea Ripley," he said, looking directly into the camera, "has been one of the most dominant champions we've ever seen. She's a force of nature, and I respect everything she's done for this business. But last week, she crossed a line. She interfered in a match where she had no business being, and that's something I can't ignore as an official. The tension in the arena was palpable. Fans expected Pearce to lay down the law. Suspension? Fine? Stripping her of the title? The possibilities hung in the air as Pearce's words carried weight. However, Pearce said, his tone softening, this isn't just about punishment. It's about something bigger. A personal letter to Rhea. The screen transitioned to footage of Pearce sitting at a backstage desk, a letter in hand. The atmosphere shifted from the in-ring formality to something more personal and heartfelt. This wasn't just business, it was a moment of reflection. In voiceover, Pearce's letter to Rhea Ripley played out, and the words hit deep. Dear Rhea, from the moment you stepped into this company, you've been a trailblazer. I've watched you grow from the NXT Women's Champion to the Women's World Champion on Raw. You've shattered glass ceilings, broken stereotypes, and proven that you're not just a force in the women's division, you're a force in the entire WWE landscape. But more than that, I've seen the fire inside you. The determination. The grit. I've seen you fight battles not just in the ring, but within yourself. I know you've faced challenges, and I know you've felt the pressure that comes with being at the top. I know I have a job to do as an official, and I'll do it. But I want you to know something. Beyond all the titles and the accolades, I see the person. I see the competitor who puts her body on the line night after night. I see the leader who's had to carry the weight of a division on her shoulders. And most of all, I see someone who's fighting to keep her identity in a world that constantly demands more from her. Rhea, you are one of the most talented and passionate individuals I've ever had the privilege of working with. You've inspired so many young women who are watching you, dreaming of one day stepping into your shoes. You've made a mark that will never be forgotten. But with greatness comes responsibility. You've chosen to live on the edge, to defy authority, to carve out your own path. And I get it. I really do. But sometimes, even the strongest among us need to pause and remember why we're here. I'm not going to take anything away from you, Rhea. You've earned everything you have. But I'm asking you to think about what's next. You've built an empire, but are you willing to risk losing it all? I believe in you, Rhea. And that's why I'm sending you this letter, not as an official, but as someone who cares. You have the power to shape your future. You don't need shortcuts. You don't need to prove anything by breaking the rules. You've already proven that you're the best. So, take this moment to reflect. Because whatever happens next, I'll be watching. And I'll be rooting for you to rise above. With respect, Adam Pearce. Rhea Ripley's reaction. The camera cut to a live shot of Rhea Ripley backstage, watching the footage on a monitor. Her face was unreadable at first, her usual defiant glare in place. But as the letter played out, something shifted. Her expression softened, if only for a moment. For the first time in weeks, the indomitable Rhea Ripley seemed vulnerable, affected by Pearce's words. When the camera panned back to the arena, the audience was silent, waiting for a response. Rhea slowly walked out to the ring, microphone in hand, but she didn't speak right away. She stood in the center, eyes locking with Pearce, who had returned to the stage. I don't need your approval, she finally said, her voice a little quieter than usual. But I hear you, Pearce. And with that, she dropped the mic and exited the ring, leaving the WWE Universe to wonder what the future held for Rhea Ripley. Would Pearce's heartfelt message be enough to change the trajectory of one of the most dominant champions in WWE history? Or would Rhea continue to carve her path, no matter the cost?